Yes, I was basically, sometimes forgive me because I'm a spiritualist. So I always talk about spirituality. I always talk about God. But the God that the African knew is what I always talk of. Because there's this perception that before the coming of the Europeans, Africans never knew who God was. But when you read King Leopold II, his letter to the Congolese, he told them, make sure he told the missionaries that they shouldn't tell the people of Congo about who God is, because they know God. But they should rather tell them that blessed is the poor, for theirs is the kingdom of God. So for me, that kind of God that they knew already is that same kind of God that I talk about. Sometimes I look at it and I always ask you this question. Why is it that they always tell you not to come, but they are always here? The answers that I normally get is that they are coming here for our resources. Maybe yes, they are, but they've gone beyond that. They are coming here for you. But the question is, how can I defeat you if I don't know much about you? So they visit places that you and I visit. They visited places that have our history, just like you see them, because they wanted to know more about you. For over 400 years now, they've been trying to kill you. They've been trying to oppress you. They've done so many of negativity to you. But they find it so strange that every time that they try planting you, you always grow. And that alone scares them. So they tell you, don't come here because your people here don't like you. Because if your people like you, why do they have to sell you? They use all sorts of manipulative ways to deny you from coming. But sometimes I ask myself this question. They said you shouldn't come, fine. They said I'm going to kill you, fine. So now that you should make the decision of who you want to kill you. Or am I wrong? You should make that decision. So you don't like me, I'm with you at the state. You don't like me, you want to kill me. And I said, okay, now that you want to kill me, I don't want you to kill me again. So I want to come to my root for them to kill me. And you are telling me I shouldn't come to my root, but they will kill me. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yes.
So there is more to what they tell you than the fact. Because they pretend they love you, but in there, everyone is seeing it, that they don't like you.
Right.
Now you said, okay, you want to kill me, and I've run, and I want somebody else to kill me. And you are telling me, don't go, but this person will kill you. Doesn't make sense. It is that this thing is something that they are not telling you. Look, your coming here is not just for anything. Your coming here is more spiritual connected. They fought us based on our physicality, but they've never been able to fight us based on our spirituality. And that is why in building our spirituality, you need to know where you are coming from. And that is why Marcus Garvey said, people without the knowledge of your origin, culture, race, or tribe, you are just like a tree without a root. The Emperor Haile Selassie also said, an awareness of our past is essential to the establishment of our personality and identity as Africans. That kind of spiritual setting that will make us stronger and conscious is what they are preventing you from coming to up. And that is all. They just don't want to connect with your land for you to be spiritually blessed. They don't want it. They don't want to connect with your land for you to know how much it is to invest in your country. They tell you this place is full of animals, diseases, and they don't want you to come in order to see the treasure that your ancestors have had for you. So they try to paint all sorts of pictures, and sometimes we don't listen to our intuition because our intuition tells us all our history. Sometimes they tell you, and when you sit down and you make the analysis, you sometimes say, no, it doesn't make sense. What they are telling me is not what it is. My spirit is telling me that is not it. So you're coming all here, I tell you, they're never going to like it. Because every person that comes out from this land in Africa, whenever that person goes back, that person becomes so conscious, so wise. And they don't want it. So that is why I always say, the last limit, the last thing that we could do to break the chains of slavery, it is by us in the diaspora being conscious and stronger enough to change our names. Because when I buy myself a pet, I name it. Why? Because I own it. It is not your fault that names have been put on you. With no documentations, your ancestors had their names. With no spiritual connectivity, they had their names. With no customary engagement, they had their names. And those names is something that has been, names are very powerful. So those names is something that has been placed on us. And with those names alone, they always think they own you. That is why when we try to do everything to come out of it, they feel they are superior than you because of that name, just the name on us. So when we come over in here, our consciousness begins to open, our brain begins to open, we broaden our horizon, then we know who we are. And when we start changing our names, it becomes a trouble for them, because they know that when they meet you, they see somebody that they don't own again. And all these things can be achieved when you connect to your roots. And that is why they don't want you to connect to your roots. Now, you are in Asen Manso Slave River site. The name is Asen Manso. Asen is a word in our local dialect. We call it tree, which is basically spoken by the Ashantis. Asen basically means travelers or persons on transit. But what you want to call say African American and I say Brunei. I just wanted to, because we are the traffic, we are only two. So I have one car. I just wanted to see if it's enough.